Welcome. In front of me is a OPPO Find X8 Pro, and today I will show you a couple tweaks and the tricks you can do on this device. So, getting started, we will want to open up our settings, and from here I'm gonna start off with the customization of the device, which we have the wallpaper and style. So here we have things like Flux themes, or otherwise just known as themes, and you can download more from the store. You can use the ones that come with the device. As you can see, there's a couple of them. Then if we scroll down, we have things like wallpaper, so that doesn't really matter. Always on display, which allows you to customize it a little bit. So it gives you some kind of icons that you can put on it, change the display of like time, how it's being shown. And you can obviously enable or disable it in here. We also have things like fonts and, furthermore, colors. Colors refers to basically everything like these blue, everything that's blue right here, as well as, if I go back, things like these. When you change it to anything that isn't the default, all of these become the same color. So it's not as kind of nice looking as it is right now, something to keep in mind. But you do have the option to, for instance, select it on from a wallpaper. So if you have some kind of wallpaper, you can choose that, and it would basically generate a bunch of colors that will then apply all around the system based on the wallpaper itself. Though for some reason this is grayed out for me, and it could be because this is kind of like a live wallpaper with snow, so it might have a problem with that. But I'm not necessarily fully 100% sure about that. In any case, we also have things like fingerprint animations, so more customization. Right here, you can click on each one of them and it just shows you a quick animation on how this will look like. You know what, this looks kind of cool, so that's what I'm gonna keep at. You can also turn it off if you don't want to have any kind of animation. We also have things like edge lighting. There we go. And well, that's about everything here. Oh right, and lastly, icons. If you have some more icon packs, you can choose them right here. Now, going back and now moving over to the home screen and lock screen, here we have some more options. So we have things like home screen, which very vague considering we are in home screen. We have withdraw. This implies to the how the apps are being displayed. Either all smack in the middle of your home screen, which is the standard mode for some reason, and then we have withdraw, which is the standard for Android. This is the one that I personally like myself, so that's what I'm gonna stick with, but if you like the more of an Apple-esque kind of style, you can choose that with the standard mode. Now you can also choose the drawer layout, so how many columns they are, and we have 4 or 5 option. I personally like it at 4, as that's kind of how it looks like. With 5, it's just going to be too smooshed, at least in my personal preference. This doesn't really look too good, so I like to keep it as it is. Now we also have another nice thing in here, which is the pull down gesture. This is basically a one-handed mode. So if you tend to use your phone one-handed, this is a bit of a chunky device. So it might be, if you're holding it actually like in a hand like a normal person, or at least like I do, just probably not accurate to say normal person, it might be hard for you to reach all the way to the top without like repositioning your hand. So what this allows you to do when enabled, just to demonstrate this, let's actually open up, there we go. There we go. You can basically do this, and you can see I'm still holding my finger on the display, I haven't let it go. So each one of these applications kind of pops up, and if I let go of it, like for instance weather, it will automatically open it up. So there we go. Now going back to the, nope, not to this, to the settings. Let me quickly search. We also have this option, so swipe down on home screen. This is one that I really like. If you tap on it, we have a couple options. We have shelf, which is the default one. It's also the same one that OnePlus uses. Now, next we have global search. It's whatever. Last one is the good one. It's notification and quick settings. That's the one that I personally really like, as it allows you to... Yes, I selected that, come on. As it allows you to basically swipe down anywhere on your screen to bring down your toggles. A pretty handy option, considering I tend to try to access toggles quite often, and this makes it much easier, so I don't need to do it from the very top of the display. Now moving back to the main settings page and moving to the display and brightness, we have light and dark mode right at the top. So you can choose it permanently there, or you have the schedule, and if you click on it, it allows you to, once enabled, choose either from sunset to sunrise or on a custom timer. So what this allows you to basically do is have it so during nighttime the device switches automatically to the dark mode, while during the daytime it will go back to light mode, giving you what could be described as best of both worlds. Now moving further down, here we have a couple, I would say AI, but they're not really described as AI functions, but we have the image sharpener and video color boost. Now they're kind of misguiding in terms of the name, because it's called video color boost, but then it's basically a conversion from SDR to HDR. Now this conversion is fake. This probably is the best way to describe it. So the footage that you'll be watching that is recorded in standard dynamic range doesn't automatically become high dynamic range. It's just trying to basically see what's on the image and then imagine or basically convert it to what it would think HDR content should look like. So it might not always be reliable, might not always be the best, but you can enable it and see if you like the difference. Some things might appear brighter, like the sun now, so obviously that would look a little bit better. Not everything would be the same uniform brightness, so obviously that's what HDR tries to kind of do. Now, I will also warn you, this will consume more of your phone's battery, so it's kind of you win some, you lose some. But this only also applies only when you're using this function. So when you're watching some videos, that will be converted from HDR or SDR to HDR. Now, same thing goes for the image sharpener. It just tries to improve the resolution of an image by upscaling it. Again, we'll use more battery. It might give you a better result than HDR, but if you see some artifacting, it most likely will be caused by this. Now, let's go back to the main settings page. There is one last thing that I'm looking for, at least in terms of customization, which is actually two more, which I think it should have been under home screen and lock screen, but I didn't notice it. Unless it's just not present right here. Yeah, it looks like we don't have it here. What I was looking for, because this is OPPO, which is kind of part of the OnePlus brand and all that, there should be an option for us to hide useless icons, which I still believe it's here, but I just am too dense to find it. So let's move over to System and Update, where we'll have another thing, which is the System Navigation. Here we have the button and gesture navigation, and you can choose whichever one you want from these two. So I personally like gesture, so that's what I'm going to select, and I'm not going to be learning it. I already know how it works. Once you select, for instance, things like gestures, you also have another option show up, which is Hide Gesture Guide Bar. This basically gets rid of this bar right here and asks you again if you want to learn how to use gestures. No, I do not, right? Oh wait, no, never mind. It would usually ask you about this. So anyway, we're going to click on OK, confirm it, and as you can see, it hides the bar and just gives you a nicer, fuller looking display with basically less obstructions in it. So that is something that I really like. I am going to give it one last little scour for notification icons. So we do have it. As you can see, if I search for notification icons, it's under notification and quick settings and status bar. Not sure how I missed that. So this is the last thing that I wanted to show you. This allows you to get rid of needless toggles right here, like Bluetooth, for instance. I have Bluetooth enabled 24/7. I don't need to know that it's enabled. I already know it is. So that's one thing that I always like to get rid of. Another one would be Wi-Fi, if I actually can, as there's some limitations. As you can see, Wi-Fi isn't listed right here, but I am connected. So yeah, we can't get rid of that, unfortunately, but you can get rid of other things here as well. Additionally, you can also make the battery look a little bit cleaner, though I personally like the way that it's set by default with the battery and percentage inside of it. This is the only way you can have percentage inside of the battery. If you choose any other style, as we do have couple, there we go, as we have couple, you won't be able to use the battery and percentage inside. It will be outside or off. And we have the option between loop vertical and horizontal. But anyway, with that being said, this would conclude all the tweaks and tricks that I want to show you. So if you found this very helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.